The first time he heard her say his name, it was above the music, clear and fearless, like she had already decided he mattered. "Dance with me before you regret it." The words cut through the ballroom's glitter and noise, through his hesitation, through the years he had spent telling himself he was invisible. He was standing at the edge of a charity gala he almost hadn't attended, a single dad in a borrowed suit, holding a glass of water because he couldn't afford to lose control of anything anymore. And the woman saying those words was the CEO everyone else was watching, the woman whose confidence made the room tilt in her direction. Ethan hadn't planned on being there long. His babysitter had agreed to watch his daughter for 2 hours, and every minute felt borrowed. He worked maintenance at a community center, fixing leaky pipes and broken lights, proud work but unseen work. The ticket to the gala had come from a grateful board member whose car Ethan had repaired for free in the rain. He promised himself he would shake a few hands, smile politely, and leave before anyone noticed he didn't belong. Then the music shifted to something warm and slow, and the CEO stepped away from a circle of admirers and looked straight at him. Her name was Claire Morgan, and people spoke it like a headline. She had built a tech company from nothing, lost it once, and built it back stronger. She carried herself with a composure that didn't need permission. Yet when she reached him, there was no entourage, no practiced speech. Just a quiet challenge in her eyes and a half-smile that suggested she wasn't asking. Ethan felt the pull of old memories, of a life before grief taught him caution. His wife had loved to dance. After she died, the house fell silent. He had learned to keep his feet still. They stepped onto the floor, and the space between them felt like a bridge suspended over everything he feared. He worried about doing it wrong, about being judged, about the way his hands shook when he placed them at her waist. Claire noticed, not with amusement but with a gentleness that steadied him. She matched his awkward steps, let him set the pace, and the room receded. The music carried them into a rhythm that felt like breathing again. She didn't ask about his job or his past. She asked him about his daughter. He spoke, and his voice softened. For the length of one song, he was not the man who counted every dollar or measured every risk. He was just a man dancing. After that night, they ran into each other again, by accident at first, then by choice. Claire visited the community center under the pretense of a donation meeting and stayed to watch Ethan teach a group of kids how to fix bicycles. She saw the way he listened, the patience that didn't perform for praise. Ethan, in turn, learned that behind her polished confidence was a woman who slept little and carried the weight of 1,000 decisions. They shared coffee in quiet corners, laughter in between obligations. What grew between them was not a spark but a steady warmth. The challenges arrived as they always do, without waiting for readiness. The tabloids noticed. A photo appeared of them leaving a cafe together, captioned with speculation that reduced him to a stereotype and questioned her judgment. Claire's board expressed concern about distractions and optics. Ethan felt the familiar tightening in his chest, the instinct to step back before he became a liability. He had built his world around minimizing risk for his daughter. Loving someone whose life was lived under a microscope felt dangerous. Then there was Lily. 8 years old, bright and careful, still carrying her mother's laugh like a keepsake. Ethan introduced Claire slowly, expecting resistance. Instead, Lily asked thoughtful questions and observed everything. Claire didn't try to impress. She listened. She learned how to braid hair badly and how to read bedtime stories without skipping the sad parts. Yet Lily grew quiet after a few visits, her smile hesitant. One night, she asked the question Ethan had been dreading. Was Claire going to leave too? Ethan had no answer that could guarantee safety. The pressure peaked when Claire faced a hostile takeover attempt that threatened the company she had rebuilt with her own hands. Long hours turned into sleepless nights. Stress sharpened her words. Ethan felt shut out, unnecessary. They argued for the first time, not loudly, but with the kind of distance that hurts more. He accused her of forgetting what mattered. She accused him of not trusting her strength. Both were afraid to name the truth. That loving each other meant risking loss. It was Lily who changed everything. At the community center's annual fundraiser, the music started earlier than expected. Families gathered, and someone clapped in time. Lily tugged Claire's sleeve and whispered something. Claire looked at Ethan, uncertain. Lily took his hand and placed it in Claire's. "You should dance," she said. "Mom liked it when you did." The room hushed in that private way only truth can make. Ethan felt tears rise and didn't stop them. He pulled Claire close, and for the first time, he let the music carry his grief as well as his hope. The takeover failed. Not because of luck, but because Claire faced it with clarity and allies she had earned. She stood before her board and spoke plainly about her life, refusing to apologize for joy. Ethan decided to go back to school at night, taking courses that could lift his family without abandoning the work he loved. It was hard. Exhausting. Worth it. They chose each other in practical ways, through calendars and compromises, through patience and apologies. On the anniversary of that first dance, they returned to the same ballroom, now quieter, the lights dimmer. There was no crowd watching. Just music and memory. Claire took Ethan's hands and smiled. "You never regretted it," she said. He shook his head. Not for a second. He thought of the men he had been, standing at the edge, afraid of joy. He thought of the choice to step forward. The message was simple and hard-earned. Life does not wait for perfect timing. Healing does not require forgetting. Love is not about certainty but courage. When the music plays, you can stand still and stay safe, or you can move and risk becoming whole. Sometimes all it takes is someone looking at you, seeing who you are, and saying, "Dance with me before you regret it."